What if the first sound of creation was a silence so dense it bent time? A flicker in a void with no up, no before, then an eruption of light, fierce as 1,000 billion suns. The clock started and hid its own beginning. A teaspoon of that newborn cosmos outweighed a mountain. Temperatures shredded matter into pure fire. Space itself stretched faster than light, not breaking rules, writing them. In that tempest, the seeds of everything were cast like sparks. Roll the film back and the frames jam at the Planck time, 10 to the negative 43 seconds, where equations fail. Beyond that, quantum foam, baby universes, symmetries shattering. The trail is scalding hot, then vanishes into a perfect mystery. Before telescopes, storytellers on deserts and steppes named beginnings, cosmic eggs, world trees, ocean births. Each tale carried a wager. Find a start, and you find meaning, or lose it. Under black skies, imagination sketched a universe. Then came curved time. Albert Einstein wrote gravity as geometry, a fabric that tells matter how to move. His equations hinted at a restless cosmos, expanding or collapsing, unless patched by a desperate constant. On Mount Wilson, Edwin Hubble turned the sky into a ledger. Nebulae became galaxies, racing away. Redshift rose with distance. The universe wasn't sitting, it was fleeing itself. Trace the arrows back, and a furnace. Helium-rich early matter, a faint afterglow cooling with time. If those markers failed, the story would fall. If they stood, creation's heat would leave fingerprints across the sky forever.
In New Jersey, Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson chased a stubborn hiss in a radio horn. Pigeons were blamed, droppings cleaned. The noise stayed. It was the sky itself, the fossil light of birth, still whispering. A late-night note in Cambridge, Alan Guth scribbled spectacular realization. Inflation, an instant of blistering expansion, could iron space flat, seed structure from quantum jitters, and solve puzzles in one audacious breath. Seconds in, a quark fog cooled and locked into protons and neutrons. Forces split roles like actors leaving a stage. The first bricks of matter stood up in a storm still louder than any future star. Within minutes, fusion forged helium, deuterium, and a breath of lithium. The proportions match predictions, a receipt from the first kitchen. Heavier elements would wait for bigger fires in later generations of stars. After 380,000 years, electrons settled into atoms. Light slipped free and ran. That glow drapes space as a near-perfect blackbody, modeled with tiny bruises, the blueprint that gravity will read to build everything. Then a long night. Neutral hydrogen fogged the universe while invisible mass gathered like silent architects. Dark matter carved valleys gravity would later flood with stars. The stage waited, set in near-total dark. At last, collapse met ignition. First stars blazed enormous and brief, blue-white torches carving ionized bubbles. Their light ended the darkness. Their deaths began real chemistry. A cosmos learned to shine and to forge. They lived as fireworks and died as foundries. Supernovae hurled carbon, oxygen, and iron. Neutron-star collisions minted gold. The periodic table is not a chart. It's a record of stellar endings written in metal. Gravity braided matter into filaments and nodes, a titanic web of clusters and voids. Spirals spun like vinyl, ellipticals glowed like embers. Between them, billions of light years of near nothing, architecture on a grand scale. In a quiet arm of a middling galaxy, a cloud collapsed, a star kindled. Around it, a dusty disk welded pebbles into worlds. Orbits bargained. A small rock stole water and luck at just the right distances. Earth cooled. Rains fell for ages.
oceans breathing steam and storms. Lightning stitched energy into chemical soups, vents fed minerals into black waters. A young planet learned to store instructions in molecules. Life's preface is argued. Self-copying RNA, alkaline vents powering proton drives, icy comets delivering organics. No single path suffices. Together, they sketch a ladder from wild chemistry to code that remembers. From microbes to forests to minds that name their stars, complexity climbed through selection and chance. Neurons composed stories about the world and themselves. Stardust achieved reflection and asked where the mirror came from. We built eyes of glass and metal, dishes in deserts, telescopes above weather, colliders that replay first instants. Each machine is a wager that nature will confess if pressed with careful questions.
James Webb now peers toward redshifts once only guessed. Infant galaxies appear earlier and brighter than tidy charts forecast. Timelines buckle, models adjust. Evidence, not ego, redraws the map of cosmic dawn. Across vacuum tunnels in Washington and Louisiana, lasers whisper. Space-time rings as black holes collide. LIGO hears the tremor. Gravity, once chalk on boards, becomes sound, a new sense for cosmic history. The arrow of time stands accused. Entropy climbs, yet the early universe looked improbably smooth. Was low entropy selected, fundamental, or just one branch among many? At the beginning, the riddle sharpens. What is nothing? Quantum fields simmer even in emptiness. Pairs appear and vanish. Symmetry breaks, granting mass and rules. Creation may be a phase change in a restless sea, not a trick pulled from thin air. Eternal inflation budding countless pocket universes, brains colliding, cycles that bounce. They offer explanations and risk untestability. How do you prove a neighboring cosmos you cannot visit? Meanwhile, something drives space apart faster each day. Dark energy, name without nature, accelerates the drift. If it holds, galaxies dim beyond reach, stars fade, and warmth thins to whispers, a long twilight called heat death. On a cold plateau in the Atacama, dishes turn like sunflowers at night. Thin air, ancient sky. Teams in parkas read whispers older than Earth. We are fragile, but our questions cut steel. Myths still walk beside equations. One sings worlds from chaos. Another births life from a giant's bones. Science does not burn them. It listens, then tests. Wonder is the ancestor both keep alive. Why these laws, these constants that permit atoms and thought? Some invoke selection among many worlds. Others chase a theory where values fall out inevitable. Between chance and necessity, meaning seeks a home. A child tilts a cardboard telescope. A probe sails toward a frozen moon. A quantum computer hums. Tomorrow's first light will come from hands not yet calloused. Beginnings are a relay, batons past wonder. The first moment is not behind us. It hides inside every second, in expanding ideas and patient evidence. We are the universe learning to pronounce its first word, still practicing, letter by glowing letter.